Okay, meat. You want some snacks later? Huh? Always when I'm cooking barbecue, you decide you want a bar. Alright. Hey everyone, it's Harry from 780 BBQ, the YouTube channel that teaches you how to master barbecue so you can spread barbecue love. You've seen my many brisket videos, and I have about 15-16 videos on how to cook brisket. You've also seen my video where I take a tri-tip, which is the top sirloin of the cow, and then I make it into kind of like a faux or fake brisket with tremendously good results. I surprised even myself when I tried it. In this episode, I'm going to try something with tri-tip again. We're going to take the tri-tip, cook it like a faux brisket, cut it up and cube it and sauce it kind of like a burnt end. And I'm going to do that and compare that against another brisket, which I'm going to cook kind of the conventional way. We're going to compare the burnt ends side by side between the faux burnt ends from the tri-tip and the real burnt ends from the point muscle of the brisket. Sharpen our knives first. And this is Rapid Steel from Amazon. If you'd like to use this, the link is on the description. So for those of you who are not aware what tri-tip is, tri-tip comes from the bottom pelvic area of the cow, usually called the butcher's cut for those of you who are not from California and who may not know what this is. It comes actually as a kind of a little triangular muscle, and there's usually a left and a right tri-tip. In California, this is pretty common because this is what Santa Maria style tri-tip is extremely popular here. So when you ask for tri-tip in California, it's likely you'll get tri-tip. And this is also known as butcher's cut because this is the cut that the butcher saves for his or her family to essentially cook into steaks or grind into hamburger. I'm going to do a light trim of it. This has already been trimmed, but if there's any kind of like parts where there's still some kind of hard fat or hard sinew like here, trim it off. You want to always, when you trim meat, kind of feel your way around the meat, and if the meat or the fat is hard, you usually want to trim it off. You also want to get rid of any of the silver skin, for example like this one. This is silver skin right here, which is the fascia, and not very good eating, so I like to trim it off. If you're running a restaurant, obviously you don't have time to do this, but if you're doing it at home, definitely it's worth the while to do that. Looks really good. The fat here is soft, we'll leave it on. And a little bit of silver skin here. Trim this off. So, alright, these are good to go. Let's season the tri-tip now like a brisket. I'm going to put a little bit of schmear. I'm going to use some beef concentrate here. Just a little bit will go a long way. Maybe about 1 teaspoon on each side. Just to wet the surface so that the rub will stick. Flip it over. A little bit on the other side. Maybe half a teaspoon or so on each side. My Slap It Daddy First Place USA beef rub works really well on beef. This is what I like to cook steak with and cook beef brisket with. Also beef ribs, really good. Since we are creating a faux brisket, I'm gonna season this the same way I would season a brisket. Smoke it until the crust sets, and then kind of wrap it, and then cook it until it's tender, and then cut it into cubes and make some faux burn ends here. Nice layer on both sides. So, a little touch of celery seed. This is ground celery seed, not the whole celery seed. So please pay attention, okay? So some of you are just telling me that you put the celery seed on and it came like all kind of crunchy. It's because you were using whole celery seeds. You're not supposed to do that. Just use some finely ground celery seed. Just a thin touch is good enough. Gives the faux brisket kind of a nice little flavor. I like to add a little bit of pepper at the end. Always good. This is a coarse black pepper. I think 25 grit, just like a Texas style brisket. Okay, there you have it. Super simple to season. Now it's ready to be smoked until the crust sets. We're gonna wrap it and like a brisket and then cook it until it's nice and tender. Cut into cubes and make some burnt ends out of it. We're running nicely at around 275. I'm gonna put the tri-tip in. And let it get some crust. We're running at a steady 275. Leave some mark here. And you want to just gently spray, maybe every hour or so when you first start. Kind of helps set the crust. So the tri-tip is about ready. I think the crust is set. Got a gorgeous color here, around 168. Alright, it's about done. So it's crusted here, so I'm gonna make my faux brisket. I'm gonna go ahead and basically wrap it in foil and treat it like a brisket with a bit of mop here. Cook it until it's tender and cut it up into cubes and make some burnt ends here. I have a little bit of beef mop here. We're gonna cook it like a brisket. Put some mop on it. Wrap it up. Alright, we can put it back in the pit. So here are our faux brisket burnt ends. I'm going to cut them into chunks and see how they taste. So here you go. Not quite like a burnt end, but kind of looks like it. And pretty tender. You can try a piece here. Good flavor. So let me compare against a real brisket burnt end, like this one here. I'm afraid to report, no compare. Faux tri-tip burnt end versus a real brisket burnt end, not the same. Will this pass? No. The real brisket burnt end still tastes a lot better. So it's a fail. Didn't quite work because I guess there's not enough fat in the tri-tip. The brisket burnt end is just like super soft. Look at that. This is just super duper point muscle soft. And I think the tri-tip, you know, no matter how hard I try, it just is completely different texture compared to the brisket. It's not as fatty as the brisket, so the point of the brisket is a lot more marble than the tri-tip. So this concludes another video from Harry Soo, Slap Your Daddy BBQ. Thanks for joining me on this tri-tip faux burnt end episode. It's a fail, so I don't think I'll try this again. Didn't work out. The actual tri-tip sliced like a brisket was a lot better, but as a faux brisket burnt end, nope, the tri-tip just doesn't work. So thanks for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, and share, and tell everybody about my channel. And I want to do a shout out for my Patreon subscribers for helping me fund all these video projects. So until the next time, we will see ya.